Well, we have a quiet evening in store. You can see a clear sky on our Montesano camera here tonight for us. Temperatures are ranging from 71 in Florence to 68 in Huntsville, 64 in Fort Payne, and 64 in Scottsboro. And our overnight lows are going to be cooling into the upper 50s and low 60s into tomorrow morning. Our drive to work could actually feature some patchy fog, so check back with us in the news in the morning for the latest on the visibility, as we could be dealing with that. Otherwise, those temperatures by 8 o'clock up close to 70 degrees. We'll go over your afternoon forecast and a look at futurecasts where we could be detecting a few showers or isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. That's coming up in my forecast in about 15 minutes. News 19 at 10 starts now.
You're watching North Alabama's news leader. This is News 19 at 10.
And take a look at this video here. Casey White is back in Alabama tonight. This video shows White arriving at the Lauderdale County Courthouse in the past few minutes for his arraignment tonight. Sheriff's deputies say the 38-year-old man escaped from the Lauderdale County Detention Center back on April 29th.
His escape, according to the Lauderdale County Sheriff, came with a big assist from Vicky White, a former corrections officer. Investigators say the two got into a police chase in Evansville, Indiana, Monday afternoon. And to end the chase, a law enforcement officer crashed into the car the couple was in. Now, police say Vicky White then shot herself and later died at the hospital. Tonight, the coroner has confirmed Vicky did die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and her death has officially been ruled a suicide. Thank you for joining us for News 19 at 10. I'm Emily Forrester. And I'm Greg Screws. In the story that's captured the nation, this chapter of it is coming to a close. Casey White serving time for a slew of charges, including attempted murder. He's still facing a capital murder charge and will now have new charges in relation to his escape.
News 19's Madison Neal is in Florence and joins us now live with the latest. Madison.
Emily, Casey White arrived here within the last 10 minutes, and they brought him through this area right here behind me and into that door. Now he is in the courtroom, and he's going to face new charges. White had been in the Lauderdale County Jail awaiting trial for capital murder set for June. In an emergency status hearing with attorneys today, there was no discussion of a new trial date. Now he'll be facing additional charges for the last 12 days. Sheriff Singleton says that he knew this manhunt would eventually end, and he's glad to bring White back into custody to face the criminal justice system.
We got a dangerous man off the street today. He is never going to see the light of day again. And, you know, that's a good thing for not just our community, but that's a good thing for this country.
Sheriff Singleton says that Casey will not be spending tonight in Lauderdale County. After this is all over, he's going to be transported to the Donaldson Correctional Facility in Bessemer, which is a state prison. Of course, News 19 does have a reporter in the courtroom right now, and as soon as we hear those charges that he is officially charged with, we'll come back and update you. Reporting live in Lauderdale County, Madison Neal, News 19.
All right, thank you, Madison. Dash camera footage released today of the capture of Casey White. You can see officers forcing White to the ground after deputies forced his vehicle into a ditch. Officers continued to look around the truck before eventually getting Casey up from the ground and taking him to a patrol vehicle.
Now, multiple law enforcement agencies were involved in the manhunt and that final encounter with Casey and Vicky White you saw there. U.S. Marshals did ram the Cadillac the pair was in into a ditch in Evansville Monday. Here's a listen to parts of the radio traffic from first responders at the scene and emergency dispatchers.
No, still going to be in the vehicle. We believe we possibly have him on 911. And we could hear her on the line saying she had her finger on the trigger. Male apparently has shot himself. Female still armed.
One law enforcement vehicle. Got 2 patients at this time.
Dispatch, can you advise if they need a negotiator?
Any county unit, do you need a negotiator?
Negative, we do not need a negotiator.
Yeah.
On females out of the vehicle, you say weapon in her hands?
Yes, ma'am. We advise the AMR if the second patient's out of the vehicle. Unresponsive at this time.
I still hearing some emergency vehicles. If it's medics, we can keep them running hot, but any LEOs can probably slow down.
Now, the press conference this morning in Indiana clarified what police did not know at the time the chase ended. Now, we have learned Casey White did not shoot himself. He did have minor injuries from that crash into the ditch. The Vanderburgh County Sheriff Dave Wedding says Vicky shot herself before any deputies got to the crashed car. The sheriff does say he is aware Vicky spoke to 911 dispatchers briefly before she turned the gun on herself, but the sheriff did not give any details about what was said. Now, Casey White's former attorney says Casey suffers from mental illness and poses a threat to anyone when he's outside of a structured environment of jail and not on his required medication.
And because of his impulsive nature to commit a crime, the attorney says there's no way he had the patience to plan the details of this whole escape. News 19's Archie Snowden spoke to the attorney, who says the details of the escape was not something he would do.
Absolutely, Greg. His former appeals attorney, Dale Bryant, tells me that when Casey White is on his antipsychotic medication, he was all right. And although he couldn't share the exact diagnosis, Bryant says that Casey White's history of violent, impulsive acts didn't allow him to detail an escape plan.
There's no way he planned this whole escape.
Dale Bryant was Casey White's attorney through the Limestone County Court of Appeals on a number of convictions in 2019 stemming from a crime spree in 2015. White was sent to Donaldson Correctional Facility in Bessemer. Bryant said he never knew what White was capable of when he was taking his medication.
And my interactions with him there at Donaldson Prison, they also had him a medication for an antipsychotic medication. He had earned the trust of the Limestone County Jail while he was here back in 2015 to 19 to be awarded a trustee position where he has a little bit more freedom in the jail.
After his confession to the stabbing of Connie Ridgway, White was transferred to Lauderdale County to answer a judge. While waiting to face the judge, he escaped in a well-thought-out plan with Vicky White.
This plan, this escape was detailed, it was thorough.
Bryant says that all of Casey White's prior crimes leading up to the escape were spur of the moment, a heat of passion, and probably not well thought out for more than 10 minutes maximum. It leads him in his interactions to believe that more than likely the escape was planned by Vicky White.
The escape in general is exactly what Casey wants to do, is get out of prison, right? But it is the well thought out and the planning it's again nothing that is in Casey's norm.
Now, Dale Bryant said that he feared that White would react when cornered by law enforcement, and indeed he did plan a shootout with Evansville police in Indiana. Greg?
All right, thank you, Archie. A lot's happened in the nearly 2 weeks law enforcement officers search for Casey White and Vicky White. We'll catch you up and explain what comes next in On the Run, the Casey White and Vicky White story. Please join us for News 19 special coverage tomorrow at 6:30. And as always, for the latest updates in the case, you can check out WHNT.com. Other news. Primary elections 2 weeks away. Polling places gearing up to welcome voters back to the ballot box. And from poll workers to probate judges to the Secretary of State, thousands are preparing to ensure the primaries run smoothly and free of fraud. Montgomery County Probate Judge J.C. Love says everyone involved in election day planning has been meeting for weeks to make sure everything is set for May 24th.
That really helps to make sure that everyone's on the same page. We know what each other's doing to make sure that we minimize any hiccups that we have as possible.
In the final 14 days, Love says they're testing voting machines. He says some are electronic, none connect to the internet. They all take paper ballots. He says by the end of the night, every ballot is accounted for. And according to the Secretary of State's Election Division, between 2015 and 2021, the office processed 1,600 complaints of voter fraud. And in total, there were 6 convictions in 6 years.
A Department of Defense review says the process Air Force officials used to select Huntsville as the preferred location for the U.S. Space Command headquarters complied with law and policy. The evaluation also found the process was reasonable. While the evaluation process was verified, the actual decision to move the Space Command headquarters to Huntsville still needs to be signed off on. And there has to be an environmental review first. A final decision won't be made until 2023.
A few deputies had to be hospitalized after a man's court appearance. I'll tell you why when we come back.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast, sponsored by Greenway of the Shoals. No fees whatsoever on your next car. A new way, the right way. GreenwayoftheShoals.com.
Well, good evening. I wanted to first start by sharing with you the temperature, and this is the May temperature to date. The average 69.7 degrees. That actually factors in the highs and the lows. The average 68.4. So we're actually above average by more than 1 degree. And if you look at 69.7 degrees and you compare it to last year, actually running 5.2 degrees warmer than last year. And again, that's to date. So we're looking at the first couple of days here, a little bit more than a week here in the month of May. We'll take a look at our rainfall. Keeping you updated here with the month-to-date stats tonight. 0.88 inches is how much rain we've seen. That's it. So we're actually below average by more than 3/4 of an inch. Muscle Shoals has only seen about an inch of rain, so below average there by almost 1/2 an inch. Well, we have a big ridge of high pressure over our area. That's kind of the thing, as well as the lack of moisture that has been across the area, leading to this very limited rain chances that we've been experiencing. What you're looking at here is our water vapor imagery tonight, and there's a low pressure, there's a spin going on right here. And so they've actually been dealing with some coastal flooding, some beach erosion. I've been seeing some reports of houses getting swept away in the erosion here along the beaches of Virginia, North Carolina tonight. Pretty powerful low. But here we're actually dealing with this ridge of high pressure. So what we're looking at now is the jet stream pattern. And so this big amplification's been over top of our area, leading to the dry conditions. But what I can tell you is we will eventually see a little bit of a breakdown of the pattern. The low pressure kind of sliding back toward the south and west over time. And eventually the temperatures will cool off, but only by a few degrees as we head into the weekend. It's going to be very toasty the next couple. We do have some slight rain chances in the forecast tomorrow, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. As for tomorrow morning, kids at the bus stop might need just a light jacket. We're going to have a clear sky, temperature in the lower 60s overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, we could actually be dealing with some areas of fog, which could limit visibility out the door early. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be a mix of sun and clouds for us. If you wanted to go out and do a little hiking tomorrow, just make sure you keep yourself hydrated because it's going to be in the mid to upper 80s. And not just in Huntsville, we're looking at the Tennessee Valley temperatures all ranging from mid to upper 80s. Perhaps just a little bit cooler here in the mountains, but overall, it's still going to be very warm. Our futurecast, aside from some patchy fog in the morning, it does look like we will have a slight chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but very little coverage, if anything at all, pop in for us tomorrow, but some brief heavy downpours, some gusty winds with the strongest. There are signs as well that the above average temperatures will continue. That's that red shaded color you're seeing across our area. This is through May 20th, everyone, and I've been looking beyond May 20th, and it does look like we will see these above average temperatures continuing into the end of the month. You can see our extended forecast for the Shoals and Sand Mountain, about 90 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday, upper 80s headed into the weekend there. Sand Mountain running a little cooler in the lower 80s, but both places having a chance for a few pop-up showers and storms, not only tomorrow, but as we head into the weekend. And same thing here, as you see, just a slight temperature dip as we head into the weekend, first part of the weekend, but you're not really going to notice a couple of degrees at that point, you know.
All right, so some time of warmer temperatures.
Very much warmer and very above average. We should be at 81 for this time of the year, so we'll be pushing well above average, but no records as of yet. No record territory.
As of yet.
As of yet.
Once we hit 90, we know that this one will be complaining.
Sorry, I'll start. I've warned everybody. I'll start complaining again. All right, thank you, Danielle.
Well, a Tennessee man is looking at serious charges accused of bringing purple fentanyl into court.
Exposure to the drug reportedly made 3 Williamson County deputies sick, and 39-year-old Jonathan Hall entered the courthouse Friday morning with outstanding warrants for his arrest. When deputies searched Hall, they found the purple fentanyl inside a shirt pocket, and within a few minutes, 3 deputies began to feel unusual, and they were quickly taken to the ER.
You're concerned on anything like this when they get exposed to any type of narcotic or any type of ingredient. And of course, when I got to the emergency room, as I said, you could see that they were feeling no pain. They were in pretty good shape. So, and in talking with the staff at the emergency room, they said, we're going to keep them here for a couple hours for observation, but everybody should be okay.
So according to the sheriff there, the effects of the drug is so powerful, one of the deputies doesn't remember talking to the boss. The sheriff adds that the deputies will not be disciplined, and we'll be right back.
latest Consumer Price Index report is due out tomorrow. While it may show inflation has eased somewhat since March, it won't quell the rising frustration consumers are feeling. Deborah Alfarone has our story from the White House.
President Biden says tackling inflation is his administration's top domestic priority.
I know you got to be frustrated. I know. I can taste it.
On Tuesday, the president outlined a plan to rein consumer costs in. His remarks came as U.S. gas prices hit an all-time high of $4.37 a gallon. Mr. Biden said the Russian invasion of Ukraine added to problems related to the pandemic.
Not only did it shut down our global economy, it threw the supply chains and demand completely out of whack.
President Biden accused congressional Republicans of having no ideas for combating inflation. He says stymieing his agenda seems to be their main focus. GOP leaders responded in kind.
$100 doesn't get you as far today as it did the day that he became president. Pointed his finger at everybody else other than himself, and the American people are sick and tired of it.
Recent polls show less than a third of voters approve of how President Biden is handling inflation, a figure that could drive voter turnout in the midterm elections this fall. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
And the White House says one anti-inflation option they are considering is ending the tariffs on Chinese imports. Those were enacted under former President Donald Trump.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk says he will reverse the Twitter ban of former President Trump if his deal to buy the social media company goes through. Musk said Twitter's ban of Trump was a morally bad decision, and he claims it was foolish in the extreme. He said bans of Twitter accounts should be rare and reserved for accounts that are scams or automated bots. Musk earlier gave his support to a new European Union law aimed at protecting social media users from harmful content after he met the bloc's single market chief. We'll be right back with more news on Casey White.
are continuing to follow this breaking news tonight. The arraignment of Casey White has just wrapped up.
News 19 had someone inside the courtroom for the hearing, and News 19's Madison Neal joins us now with what happened there. Madison.
So Casey White just drove away from here, and now he's being transported to Donaldson Correctional Facility in Bessemer, Alabama. And our reporter in the courtroom tonight just came out and updated us, so I'm reading these for you. He is charged with escape in the first degree. That is his only new charge tonight, escape in the first degree. In relation to that capital murder case that was set for June, the defense says that they will be filing motions including a change of venue, and the judge says that the date will likely remain the same for that case. Addison Willman told me that he heard the defense say that Casey wants to go to trial in June, which that is up in the air. But as of now, it's still in June. There is no delay for that capital murder case that has been set. So again, the judge also says that they will look for an alternate place to house Casey. But for now, he'll be in the Donaldson Correctional Facility in Bessemer. And that is the newest information. Again, the only new charge is that he is charged with escape in the first degree. Reporting live tonight in Florence, Madison Neal, News 19.
Now, Tennessee Valley Sports with Rocco DiSangro.
So when esports was introduced as an official sport by the AHSAA, Joshua Vannoy took full advantage of the opportunity. Not only is he a 5-time state champ, but because of his performance over the years, the Bob Jones Sr. has signed with an SEC school. Vannoy will continue his playing career at Ole Miss, becoming the first member of the Bob Jones esports team to sign with an SEC school. While he plays a ton of games, the go-to is Rocket League, and he's excited to be able to take his talents to the next level.
Seeing our success and showing how good of friends I've made with everybody, and showing how great the program is, it really shows people that they can come out, and if they're having thoughts about joining, they can join and not be scared that it's not football, right? It's just giving them that thought that giving them this an opportunity and a chance works out.
That's great. Love it. Phil Campbell took care of business in Game 1 of the 3A semifinal series, dominating Piedmont en route to a 10-0 win. Bulldogs took Game 2 16-9. No worries for the defending state champs. They're back in action for Game 3 Wednesday at 4 p.m. If you've ever played Rocket League,
I have actually.
It's very, very hard. It's difficult. I have friends that are good at it. Not that good. 5-time state champ good, but it's so difficult. So props to him. He's going to an SEC school.
Awesome.
It's pretty incredible.
He could have played on Alabama's team.
I know. Why did I not do that?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not good at it at all.
So you parents that complain, is he playing too many? Is he or she playing too many games?
Might get a scholarship.
They're not. They get a scholarship. Wow, that's awesome. That's such a cool story. I love that. Look at the weather.
Weather's going to be pretty warm over the next few days. Not record territory, but warm enough and above average. We'll have a slight chance for a pop-up shower or an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow, getting into the mid to upper 80s across the Tennessee Valley, and that's going to be the case on Thursday as well. Just a slight dip in the temps Friday and Saturday, but more rain chances will return, albeit slim. Very hit and miss, it looks like. I don't see any organized weather, no huge weather systems coming in where everyone's going to get rain, but there will be at least an opportunity over the weekend for some people to get their lawns a little wet, because I know mine's turning brown, so I'm not the only one.
Just to underline the breaking news from tonight, Casey White back in Florence. He is headed to Donaldson down in Bessemer. So far, the only charge from tonight is escape in the first degree from Casey White.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated tomorrow morning on WHNT.